You're either for me or against me, thought Alex-Li Tandem, referring to the daylight and, more generally, to the day. He stretched flat and made two fists. He was fully determined to lie right here until he was given something to work with, something noble, something fine. He saw no purpose in leaving his bed for a day that was against him from the get-go. He had tried it before. No good could come from it. A moment later, he was surprised to feel a flush of warm light dappled over him, filtered through a blind. Non-violent light. This was encouraging. Compare and contrast with yesterday morning's light, pettily fascist, cruel as the strip lighting in a hospital corridor. Or the morning before yesterday morning, when he had kept his eyes closed for the duration, afraid of whatever was causing that ominous red throb beneath the eyelids. Or the morning before that, the morning of doom, which no one could have supposed would continue for 72 hours. Now optimistic, Alex grabbed the bauble that must be twisted to open blinds. His fingers were too sweaty. He shuttled up the bed, dried his left hand on the wall, gripped and pulled. The rain had come in the night. It looked as if the flood had passed through Mountjoy, scrubbed it clean. The whole place seemed to have undergone an act of accidental restoration. He could see brickwork, newly red-faced and streaky, as after a good weep, balconies with their clean crop of wet white socks, shirts and sheets. Shiny black aerials. Oh, it was fine. Collected water had transformed every gutter, every depression in the pavement into prism puddles. There were rainbows everywhere. Alex took a minute to admire the gentle sun that kept its mildness, even as it escaped a grey shelf of cloud. On the horizon, a spindly church steeple had been etched by a child over a skyline perfectly blue and flatly coloured in. To the left of that sat the swollen cupola of a mosque, described with more skill. So people were off to see God, then, this morning. All of that was still happening. Alex smiled weakly. He wished them well. In his bathroom, Alex was almost defeated by the discovery of a sequence of small tragedies. There was an awful smell. Receptacles had been missed. Stuff was not where stuff should be. Stepping over stuff, ignoring stuff, stoic Alex turned to the vanity mirror. He yanked it towards him by its metal neck until its squares became diamonds, parallelograms, one steel line. He had aged. Terribly. The catch in his face, the one that held things up, this had been released. But how long was it since he had been a boy? A few days, a year, a decade, and now this? He bared his teeth to the mirror. They were yellow. But on the plus side, they were there. He opened his accidental eyes, Rubinstein's term, halfway between Oriental and Occidental, wide as they would go, and touched the tip of his nose to the cold glass. What was the damage? His eyes worked. Light didn't hurt. Swallowing felt basic, uncomplicated. He was not shivering. He felt no crippling paranoia or muscular tremors. He seized his penis. He squeezed his cheeks. Present. Correct. Everything was still where it appears in the textbooks. And it seemed unlikely that he would throw up, say, in the next 4 hours, something he had not been able to predict with any certainty for a long time. These were all wonderful, wonderful developments. Breathing heavily, Alex shaved off 3 days' worth of growth. Had it been 3 days? Finishing up, he found he had cut himself, twice, and so applied the sad twists of tissue. Teeth done, Alex remembered the wear and tear deposit he had paid his landlord and shuffled back to the bedroom. He needed a cloth, but the kitchen was another country. Instead, he took a pillowcase, dipped it in a glass of water, and began to scrub at the handprint on the wall. Maybe it looked like art? Maybe it had a certain presence. He stepped back and looked at it, at the grubby yellow outline. Then he scrubbed some more. It didn't look like art. It looked like someone had died in the room. Alex sat down on the corner of his bed and pressed his thumbs to his eyes to stop 2 ready tears. A little gasp escaped him. And what's remarkable, he thought, what's really amazing is how tiny the actual thing was in the first place. This thing that almost destroyed me. 2, no, maybe 3 days ago, he had placed a pill on his tongue. like a tiny communion wafer. He'd left it there for 10 seconds, as recommended, before swallowing. He had never done anything like this before. Nothing could have prepared him. Moons rose, suns fell, for days, for nights, all without him noticing. Legal name, Microdot. Street name, Superstar. For a time it had made itself famous all through his body, and now it was over.